Hello guys, my name is Bernard. I'm an IMG from Ghana, and welcome to my channel again. Do not forget to subscribe and leave comments in the section below if there are any questions at the end of this video. So basically, today I'm going to be talking about a mnemonic I came across for the RNA viruses. If you forgot to check out my previous video, I did one for the DNA viruses. So basically going to be doing one for the RNA viruses. This is, there are a lot more RNA viruses than the DNA viruses. So, with that being said, let's just jump right into it. So, in my previous video, I made mention that, things you want to remember about the viruses, shape of the capsid, the genome, and obviously if they are naked or enveloped. Okay. Now, the shape of the genome, either linear or circular, and then envelope, either they are covered or not covered, or capsid. The capsid can either be icosahedral or helical. And if you remember, I said all the icosahedral are positive sense and the helical are negative sense. Basically have mRNA and they don't have mRNA. Okay, don't. Okay, and if you trying to you find it difficult to remember if the link in the positive to icosahedral, negative always begin with N, and when you're writing your helical, there's a bit of an N in it, so H like that. So, probably that helps you remember that. Sorry about that. That probably helps you remember that this is what, negative. Okay. So now let's just jump into it. We have a lot to cover here. So for the RNA viruses, so you can positive sense or negative sense, right? Now, like I said, positive icosahedral. So, and then the positive can be either we have the naked and then we have the enveloped. Okay, and then the negative sense we just have enveloped. And like I said, when you're drawing this chart, sometimes you're a bit confused which one comes first, because you've learned the organisms below. So always just remember that you were born naked before you started to put on clothes. So naked always comes first, then enveloped, and then another envelope. So positive sense 2, negative sense they're just all enveloped. Okay, so now coming to the naked. Okay, I think of this one when it comes to the RNA virus, I think of it as location or cities. So geography basically. So I think of the first one, the first C as California, and obviously in the States or in America, apparently, America is supposed to be the dream country for a lot of people. So, basically in California, people are happy. Why wouldn't they be? They have a good weather. Okay, so California, people are happy. So CH. And then in Rio, okay, Rio in Brazil, people tend to be poor. Not to offend anyone in Brazil or in Rio at this point, just trying to find an easy way to, remember some of this complex things. So in Rio, people are poor. So let me just not cancel that. So California, people are happy. In Rio, people are poor. Okay. So that is for the naked viruses here. Then for the enveloped here, we remember it as crafty. So see how I'm spelling the crafty. So you can see that after the CR, there's a small A here, FT, there's a small Y here. That's also for a reason. So, note how the crafty was spelled. So CR, small A, FT, small Y, okay? That, and then bad prof, okay? So, he's a crafty bad prof, some professors are bad anyway, so, any which ways. Not targeted towards any professor. Okay, so crafty bad prof. Then so the only one you need to know this this is a bit unorthodox. So location California, people happy, and then this one you can bring it together, crafty bad prof. Okay, now let's break it down. So for California, that would be the Calici virus. Okay, so under the Calici virus, we have the norovirus. And then California people are happy, so Hep E. Then Rio virus for rotavirus. Then P here for Picona virus. Okay, so under the Picona virus, like we said, when in Mnemonic we said, in Rio people are what? Poor, okay? So, when people are poor, they tend to perch, basically, when perching, hanging out somewhere temporarily, hanging on something, so, poor people, find a little corner to, spend the night or something, and then in the morning they're off to go. So, they are basically perching. So the first P for polio, E for echo, R for rhino, C for Coxsackie, and then H for Hep A, okay? So that's for the Picona viruses. Now we come to crafty, and I told you, see how the A was spelled and all that, okay? So the first C for coronavirus, okay? Quite popular right now, everybody knows coronavirus. So coronavirus, R for retrovirus, and then the A is small, it's not part. F for flavivirus, and T for Toga virus. Again, the Y is also silent, okay? So crafty bad prof, okay? So retrovirus, HIV, HTLV, flavivirus, okay, we'll break that one down a bit. So that virus, I always remember it as Flavor Flav, okay? If you're into hip-hop, Flavor Flav is a very old American artist, like an old celebrity. I don't know if he's still relevant now, but that's besides what we are learning today. So he's, I remember Flavor Flav is an old artist, so he's kind of like washed. He's like a yesterday artist, so he's like washed like yesterday, okay? So that's how I remember it. So, and then, washed is not spelled in full, so WSDHD and then Y, okay? So breaking that down, so the S is W for West Nile virus, St. Louis virus, hepatitis C virus, D for dengue, and then Y for yellow fever. So he's washed like yesterday, okay? Now, Toga virus, the Toga is like a beautiful dress. Anytime I see this virus, I always, if you a Game of Thrones fan, you probably will remember Khaleesi, the lady in it. She's usually wearing a toga and, riding on a horse, okay? So, basically, Toga virus, think of a beautiful lady wearing a toga, riding on a horse, okay? So now, beautiful lady, B, so beautiful lady kind of helps us to remember that's for rubella. And then, ELLA, Ella stands for like a name of a lady. So, like a rubella, so beautiful lady riding on a horse. So equine viruses. So those form under toga. So, you just have to picture toga, beautiful lady wearing a toga, riding on a horse. And then you get the viruses under that. And then now we come to the bad prof, okay? So bad prof, the B stands for Bunya virus. Now, so for the Bunya virus, so basically, there's a lot of organism under the Bunya virus, okay? And we're studying for this for exam, okay? So sometimes, I do this thing called, sort of elimination. You can't know everything, so sometimes you learn what you can and what you don't know sort of will be. So, probably we know the DNA viruses, we know the RNA viruses, so we just know the Bunya virus is negative sense enveloped, because there's a lot of organisms and the mnemonic that's a bit complex, so I just skip that for now. And then we'll do the rest, okay? So A for RNA virus, D for Delta virus, P for paramesovirus, so PRM. So BADPRO. Rhabdovirus, sorry about that. And then otomesovirus, and then filovirus, okay? Like I said, we'll just put an asterisk here. So basically, we know all the viruses, and the ones that we don't know. If it comes up in a question, we'll probably think, that's a Bunya virus, any which way. So RNA virus, I think of it as the ALL, acute lymphocytic leukemia. So the L's, okay? So ALL. So L for Lassa. So that's the Lassa virus. And then the second L is the LCMV virus, okay? So ALL. Delta virus, HDV, hepatitis D virus, and then paramesoviruses, I spelled it PRM, okay? So parainfluenza, RSV, and then mumps. Okay, remember, has the MR, but rubella is not part. Rubella, we said, is what? Toga virus. Rhabdovirus is only one, rabies virus. Otomiso is also just one. That's your influenza virus. And then filovirus, okay? So now, I remember it as fem, short for feminine, right? And then we know philo is like not spelled like this, but philo is like a short form for Philomena, okay? So I remember it as feminine. So philo fem, so FEM, so E for Ebola, M for Marburg virus, okay? So this is basically, we know this. So like I said, once you know all the viruses, you know that anyone that you come across that, you can't fit in the mnemonic would be Bunya virus, okay? So that being said, we have, we basically know a lot about the viruses. So we just have to add a few exceptions to it. So now one thing I also need you to remember aside the whole mnemonic is bad or boa, okay? Bad or boa, okay? So now bad will tell us about the shape of the genome, whether they're linear or circular. So bad means they are circular. The rest are all linear, okay? So the bad, you get it from here, bad prof, right? So Bunya, RNA, Delta viruses, they are circular. Now the off is the viruses that replicate in the nucleus. So, like we said, all the DNA viruses replicate in the nucleus except, okay, remember pox virus, pox in the box. It has a complex shape, so it's the only exception for the DNA. Sorry, I'm just backtracking here, just a little bit of revision. And then because it's still big, it doesn't replicate in the nucleus, it replicates in the cytoplasm. So all the RNA viruses, on the other hand, replicate in the cytoplasm except for these two, which replicate in the nucleus, okay? So octomeso virus and then the retrovirus, okay? So that's the all here. And then the boa, okay? So these are the segmented virus. And basically all you need to know about segmented virus is the fact that they have a high tendency to cause epidemics, okay? So when you come across a question and they're talking about a virus that has a tendency to become an epidemic and whatnot, think of segmented viruses. So again, Bunya virus, Otomito virus, RNA virus, and then remember the R's are a lot. Okay, wrap the one, but then so but this R here is the first one, the Rio, okay? So try not to confuse that with Rhabdo or any of the other R viruses, okay? So R here, and it's in the first one. So yeah, basically that being said, we've quickly gone through all the RNA viruses, and if you basically know this, you should know more than enough to answer questions on the RNA viruses. Obviously this will require you to go through a few more times, but like I said, if you remember how we start to build all this thing up, then you should be more than capable to answer a lot of the questions. Again, thanks for staying with me and going through this mnemonic. Do not forget to subscribe and hit the like button below. See you some other time. Have a good day.